and welcome to the news update on the Papyrus Global TV. My name is Christiana Babayo. Before we begin, here are the headlines. Tinubu swears in General Musa as Defense Minister. Nigeria open for stronger partnerships. Tinubu welcomes 21 new envoys. Appeal Court rules VIO has no power to seize vehicles or impose fines. Nigeria applauds Saudi Arabia for release of 3 wrongfully detained pilgrims. New NPC chair pledges credible biometric sensors and modern data systems. Tinubu louds Senate for swift confirmation of Musa as defense minister. Akwa Ibom lawmakers reject motion to ban dog meat consumption. And now the news in details. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday, December 4th, administered the oath of office to former Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Gwabin Musa, retired, as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense, a move aimed at bolstering national security in the face of growing threats. The swearing-in ceremony at the presidential villa in Abuja came just 24 hours after the Senate gave its approval following a nomination forwarded by the president after the resignation of the former minister on health grounds. At the ceremony, President Tinubu praised the Senate for their prompt confirmation and described Musa as a fine gentleman whose track record in the military makes him well suited for the challenges ahead. General Musa, speaking shortly after the oath of office, assured Nigerians that under his watch, the armed forces and other security agencies will work with renewed vigor and synergy to deliver tangible improvements in national security. He pledged swift, measurable actions to restore peace and protect citizens, underscoring a commitment to a united defense front. Observers view Musa's appointment as a strategic decision, leveraging his extensive operational experience to strengthen the government's military response during a critical security juncture. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has declared Nigeria open and ready to deepen international cooperation as he received letters of credence from 17 ambassadors and 4 high commissioners at the State House, Abuja. In a ceremony marked by diplomatic formalities, Tinubu urged the newly appointed envoys to collaborate closely with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs across a wide range of sectors including trade, energy, agriculture, education, technology, defense, and cultural exchange to tackle shared global challenges such as insecurity, economic instability, climate pressures, and humanitarian crisis. Representatives from countries across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and the Caribbean, including Japan, Gabon, Turkey, Spain, Indonesia, Mauritania, Thailand, Sweden, Czech Republic, Liberia, Poland, Italy, Slovakia, Iran, Ghana, India, Bangladesh, and Barbados were accredited in what ranks among the largest single-day credential presentations under the current administration. Responding on behalf of the new envoys, the ambassador of Japan, among others, commended Tinubu's leadership and Nigeria's ambitious reform agenda. They expressed optimism that with improved diplomatic engagement and strategic cooperation, Nigeria could bolster its global standing and attract foreign investment. The president affirmed an open door policy, assuring uninterrupted cooperation and support from the federal government. The move is widely seen as a strategic repositioning of Nigeria in the global arena, signaling readiness for renewed partnerships and collaborations. In a landmark ruling, the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal has affirmed that the Vehicle Inspection Office (VIO) lacks legal authority to stop motorists, seize vehicles, and impose fines, a decision that could significantly change road traffic enforcement practices across Nigeria. The decision upholds a 2024 ruling by the Federal High Court, which held that no existing law empowers the VIO to engage in traffic enforcement. The appeal filed by the VIO following a challenge by a motorist whose vehicle was seized was unanimously dismissed by a 3-member panel. As a result of the ruling, the court awarded 1 million naira in damages to the plaintiff, recognizing the unlawful seizure and the violation of constitutional rights, including freedom of movement, presumption of innocence, and property rights. The court's decision does not affect the operations of the Federal Road Safety Corps, which is affirmed as the legally authorized agency for traffic regulations and enforcement on Nigerian roads. Legal experts say this ruling is significant, potentially curbing arbitrary vehicle seizures, curtailing abuse of power by traffic enforcement agents, and upholding the rights of motorists nationwide. The federal government has commended the authorities in Saudi Arabia for releasing three Nigerian pilgrims who were detained in Jeddah over alleged drug trafficking, a development that highlights successful diplomacy and interagency collaboration. The three, Mr. Abdul Hamid Sadiq, Mrs. Mariam Hussein Abdullahi, and Mrs. Bahija Aminu Abdullahi, were arrested in August 2025 at King Abdulaziz International Airport when illicit substances were found in luggage fraudulently linked to their air tickets by a criminal syndicate operating at Kano's Malam Aminu Kano International Airport without their knowledge. After investigations by the Saudi authorities, supported by the Nigerian consulate in Jeddah and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA), the detainees were cleared of all charges. The travel bans on the women have been lifted and they returned to Nigeria in November. Arrangements are being finalized for Sadiq's return following the lifting of his ban on travel on December 2nd, 2025. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs described the release as reflective of the strength of diplomatic engagement under the 4D doctrine of Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, stressing the government's commitment to defending the rights of Nigerians abroad. The government expressed gratitude to the Saudi authorities, the consular mission in Jeddah, and the NDLEA for their professionalism and collaboration in achieving this outcome, reaffirming Nigeria's pledge to protect citizens overseas. We will now go on a short break, and when we come back, the news will continue. Stay tuned.
The Papyrus Global, we don't just cover events, we create cinematic experiences. From red carpets to birthdays, gala dinners, and your fairy tale weddings, we bring your moments to life with high-tech precision. Our gadgets are smarter, our lenses sharper, and our team simply world-class. Trust the Papyrus Global to tell your story in the boldest, brightest way possible.
Welcome back, and now the news will continue. Dr. Aminu Yusuf, the newly appointed chairman of the National Population Commission (NPC), has unveiled ambitious plans to deliver a fully credible, technology-driven national census and overhaul Nigeria's demographic data systems. Speaking at the NPC headquarters in Abuja after his swearing in, Yusuf thanked President Tinubu for entrusting him with the role and outlined a seven-point agenda aimed at modernizing census methodologies, strengthening birth and vital registration, and improving data-driven national planning and governance. The agenda includes digitizing enumeration areas, deploying biometric verification during population counts, upgrading civil registration and vital statistics, modernizing migration tracking systems, and enhancing collaboration with the international partners such as UNICEF, UNFPA, and health agencies to ensure accuracy and compliance with global standards. Yusuf also pledged institutional reforms within NPC, focusing on enhanced ICT capacity, improved staff welfare, merit-based progression, and stakeholder engagement across federal, state, and community levels. According to him, reliable demographic data is critical for informed decision-making in sectors such as health, education, infrastructure, housing, and security. Observers say the renewed focus on biometric and data-driven census methodology could be a game-changer for Nigeria, potentially ending decades of unreliable population figures, disputed allocations, and skewed planning outcomes. The commitment signals a shift toward accountability and data integrity in national governance. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has publicly commended the Nigerian Senate for its rapid confirmation of General Christopher Gwabin Musa retired as the new Federal Minister of Defense. The praise came shortly after the Senate cleared Musa following a rigorous screening process just 2 days after President Tinubu submitted his name for consideration. The president described Musa as a fine gentleman whose track record makes him ideally suited to lead Nigeria's defense efforts during this precarious security period. General Christopher, who previously served as Chief of Defense Staff until October 2025, was sworn in as Defense Minister, assuming full responsibility for the nation's military and security strategy. He pledged to fight terrorism and banditry with renewed vigor, underscoring F-zero tolerance stance on ransom payments and criminal negotiations. The president's show of confidence in Musa and the Senate's expedited approval is being viewed as a clear signal of urgency from the federal government to respond decisively to the country's mounting security challenges through strengthened leadership and institutional coordination. The Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly has dismissed a motion to criminalize the sale and consumption of dog meat in the state after the bill failed to secure a seconder, a procedural requirement for legislation to proceed. The motion had been introduced by Uduak Ekpofoot, the lawmaker representing Etinan State constituency, who argued that the practice involves cruel and inhuman treatment of dogs, poses serious health risks such as rabies and salmonella, and happens under unhygienic conditions. Despite the public health concerns raised, none of the other 25 members supported the motion. It lacked a seconder and was formally rejected, leaving dog meat consumption legal and now unregulated in the state, at least for now. Dog meat remains a widely consumed delicacy in Akwa Ibom and surrounding regions, often sold in roadside eateries or local bukas. The rejection of the motion suggests lawmakers prioritized cultural practices and local dietary preferences over proposed regulation, even in the face of health and animal welfare arguments. The decision has already sparked public debate. Some residents and animal welfare advocates voiced disappointment, lamenting that potential health hazards have been ignored. Others welcomed the outcome, citing tradition and personal choice as reasons to maintain the status quo. And that's all we have on the news update on Papyrus Global TV. I am Christiana Babayo. Thanks for joining us.